y'all doing? Happy Monday. Welcome to this week's episode of Everyday People, Everyday Conversations. I'm one of your hosts, Tiffany D. Collins.
And I am Tiffany Tiff Cole Joseph, and I'm in the building to drop some nuggets on you tonight.
I'm one of your co-hosts, Anika Roseboro, better known as Nika Rika.
Yeah. And hey, what's up, peeps? I'm Vashawn. I'm holding it down for all the men and all the bros out there.
All right. And listen, y'all make sure y'all stay tuned throughout the entire show because we got some good topics we're going to be talking about. Our main topic is going to be depression versus burnout. So trust me, you want to stay, you want to tune in. We welcome comments, we welcome anything that y'all want to contribute to this show, okay?
You definitely don't want to miss this. So please, like Tiffany said, stay to the end because we know everybody deals with one, depression, two, burnout, or both.
Yes.
And right now, today, we're going to distinguish between the two. And we're going to work it out and talk about it.
Yeah, and don't forget, put your comments in and chime in anytime you feel like, and who knows, your comment might get aired.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
And looks like we're gonna also introduce our guest for this evening. Tonight we have Mr. Dwight BRANNON joining us.
Woo!
Thank
you for joining us.
Thank y'all for having me. Really excited.
Absolutely.
So, Mr. Dwight, we're gonna jump right in with the interview. I see you have over 32 years of experience in education. Tell us about your educational experiences.
Well, I started off as a special ed teacher and coach of girls basketball and track.
Okay.
And coached track for several years and then ascended into assistant principalship, then into central office, managing everything from risk management, human resources, to purchasing, transportation, everything and anything. So yes, have a wide range of experiences in school district, environment, and governmental municipalities.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Come on, you better be well versed and
Educated black man.
You're giving us Martin Luther King and Malcolm X,
All of that.
all in one.
Yes.
Yes, and the beautiful thing about the relative parallel is that I'm in the process now of launching. Well, it's been launched here in Houston. I have a business education platform. So I'm a librarian.
Okay.
So when you come to my library, Next Height Library Services, you can ask for a number of items off of the shelf. So some of the information, I'm working with a group that is sponsoring digital economy expos across the United States. And our first expo will be in New Orleans, October the 1st through the 4th. And so we're presenting digital economy, information education through the platform. And there's both pre-conference, during conference, and post-conference continuing education opportunities. So as a librarian, what do you want to learn? I have it on the shelf. And if I don't, I'll get it for you.
Well, I'll tell you what, you keep those books, keep those books. That's a wealth of knowledge and so much inside of books. And I'm so glad that you're taking the time to actually keep tangible books. That is a great thing.
Yes, it's a combination. The one thing that our tenets are is that time and space should not restrict the exchange of knowledge and information.
Absolutely.
That is so true.
Exactly.
So yes.
Okay, so I know you and I had talked about the Next Height LLC, and I know you just mentioned it about, it basically being a library and all of that. Like, expound a little bit more, like what other things do you offer with that?
Well, we have a accredited K through 12 online school, which is a blended model also, so a student can graduate from high school. We do prodigy development. So each student has their own action plan. It's a student success plan. Identification of their money maker. That talent or talents then are developed at a prodigy level. They are presented across a number of platforms. And because of that presentation, there's an economic stimulus within that child's life and that family's life. So to ensure that that wealth transfer is protected, in the 5th grade, students receive their LLC. In the states permitted. In the states where it is not permitted, then a trust is established. So if family members want to work for that child, they are employees with specific job responsibilities.
Awesome. That sounds, I mean, basically, so you could be 10 and 11 and you a whole business owner, you a whole CEO. And, you know, before you even start your teenage years, like that is definitely a great way to put children on a path to success. So bravo, sir. Bravo.
So is
Well,
that
actually, yes.
similar to a homeschool, right?
Yeah, it
Like
actually,
homeschooling, and it is accredited, right?
Yes, it can reside along with a private or public school platform.
Okay.
The emphasis is that we focus on 70% of the time is developing the student's talent. They read, write, and do math within that thematic unit.
Mm-hmm.
So then I accomplish that relationship rigor and ensure that the student develops at a level that is at a prodigy developmental mandate.
Okay. This is great. And for those that are looking for homeschooling and things of that sort, here's your guy right here. They're not only having a great curriculum, but they have a success, leadership, good package look like you got going on, future leaders of America. And that's great.
Yes. And actually in Houston, we have a branch. It's called Leaving a Legacy. And Miss Trina Green Powers is the executive director. And we meet on Alameda, and we're expanding to the 4 quadrants of Houston, including virtual meetings. And our 3 tracks there are business plan, development, and maintenance. Personal credit to build business credit. And then the last track is request for proposals and request for quotes. And its application in both your business model and also in solicitation of contracts. Okay. So we're doing that in Houston now.
Come on, come on.
That's great. That is great, man.
I love it.
You know, and before I ask my question, I just like to commend you, man, for your efforts that you're doing for the youth of Houston and the community, man. It's much appreciated.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We really
yes. And the reference, you made reference to the great Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. The structural integrity of the architectural plans that God has anointed me to design withstand any bullet or any attempt to destroy this that has gone forth.
All right. Okay. And so, according to your resume, you have about 19 credits in the acting industry. Expound on that a little bit for us, if you will.
Well, I have this passion for entertaining.
Okay.
To put it, I love to. Actually, I'm 4 stuck in a 62-year-old body.
Believe him, y'all. Believe him. He sound all polished and everything, but no, Dwight is hilarious, y'all.
I go to timeout a lot. They tell me and the kids to be quiet. I gravitate to that age range of pre-K kindergarten.
Okay.
They get me. And so I've been able to flip that character development into theatrical opportunities, both commercial, short film, and live theater and stand-up comedy.
Okay.
So let me ask you, how did you make the transition from like being an administrator and then going into acting?
If we have been watching anything going on in Houston ISD recently, I think acting skills are perfected on a daily.
All day, every day.
Right.
And I think, as a matter of fact, didn't the superintendent just perform for the teachers?
Yes. Yeah,
So
right.
just thought I'd throw that out there. Maybe we can get some chat action going on.
So how does acting help you in the role of teaching, or vice versa? How does teaching help you in the role of acting?
Well, both are scripted,
Okay.
or should be. You should not get up there and insult the integrity of that writer, director, and not know your lines.
Yes, Lord.
Mhm.
Preach.
You should not go in front of students to deliver content where you are expected to facilitate that dissemination, not be you have to snatch the pearl out of my hand. Y'all are too young to know about that reference, but look it up. But so we get this sensei type of attitude that as a teacher, I must hold the knowledge and I'm gonna give you what I want to give you today. But if you script from the moment the student walks in the room and information transfer, then allow them to experience the application and use of that knowledge, then you have the students talking in the classroom, building, developing, and the teacher should be the passive voice walking around. So in a scripted, structural delivery of information, you make sure that you cover your content. So both are scripted. Integrity of the director's delivery of that content and the writer's composition must be respected.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I wish more actors like had your type of work ethic, because what I notice is like, people that haven't really been in the acting industry for a good amount of time, it's like they look at it as a game sometimes. And people that take it seriously, like myself, and maybe, I know all of us here for sure, and then a few other people that I know, is like we take it seriously. And so when I see somebody else that don't take it seriously and they acting as if it's a game, it's like I take it personal, and I personally get offended, because I'm like, wait a minute. You out here playing, but this is my passion.
Mhm.
Like, take it seriously. Take your craft seriously.
Yes. And that's why I try to do 360s every time I step on the floor, so your layup looks pitiful.
Yes, indeed.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
So as most people know that are probably tuning in, if they don't know, they about to get ready to know. But anyway, you are a part of the Walk of Purity series, okay? And
Yeah,
you are
hey
also
baby girl. Hey baby girl.
Yes. So can you talk about your characters? Like, and I'm saying characters with an S because you were the pastor in the play as well as the pastor in the series. So like tell the audience like how they differed, or if they differed, and how were the experiences for you?
Well, of course, live delivery is an interchange that is unmatched. When we filmed the series, of course, we had takes. Of course, I only took one take, well, two, because they had to get another angle, but that's another conversation.
Okay.
Because you
But
good
you
like
better
that.
brag.
You good like
Yeah,
that.
he's serious.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
You better be one and done. That's
Yeah.
what they say, one and done.
One and done, get the other camera shot, do what you have to do, and then let's move it on.
Right.
Yes.
So
Right.
no, the difference was in preparation of knowing that at least you had another chance, but the delivery of the message, the delivery of the content were the same. So I didn't have to change anything there. Of course, the interaction of the audience and the clapping and everything, is different. But no, love the play, the script, the character, the writer, everything about the Walk of Purity is a testament to, if you commit to what you're committed to, I don't care what anyone else is worried about.
Come on.
Absolutely.
Come on.
It really, because everyone has their thought of what should be, but
Absolutely.
you are anointed to do what you have been called to do.
Amen.
You
And
better
I
come on,
respect,
Pastor. Y'all church is live tonight.
I respect that anointing on your life, that You have not allowed anyone to sway you from that message of purity. So I'll mute my mic for a second. Y'all go ahead.
Oh, no, you're fine. Because I actually had another question, or unless somebody else wants to ask, but
I can.
yes.
I know with the play, you had a short time to prepare. So tell us your technique and remember your lines in such a short time frame.
Well, in the walk of purity, that's ministry of the word. So either I know it or I don't. So as I told Tiff, when she asked me, I said, okay, so you have the sermon, you have the other, okay, I got this, because I'm preaching. Then in the other scene, I was ministering, doors of the church are open.
Yeah.
And then it was another service. And so it was ministry. So all I had to do was minister. So in preparation for ministry, you have an outline, you have exactly what needs to be conveyed, and you stay within that. And so I had the ability to have an excellent written sermon that I was able to allow God the Holy Spirit to use me in both settings. So the preparation was really in a ministry moment. God the Holy Spirit will not deny that which must be delivered. All I had to do was make myself a willing vessel to study the lines and then know the scriptural reference around what Miss Tiffany Daniels was conveying to the audience. So thank you.
Awesome.
I think he's in character right now.
No, you know what? That's what it seems like, but it was so
Genuine.
funny. Yeah, like this is like who he is, because when I did the play 2 times last year. So the second go round is when I asked Mr. Dwight here to come and be the pastor. And I'm telling you, I was sitting in my room and I was like, Lord, who could I get to be my pastor? And like as clear as day, Dwight Brannon. Like I didn't even have a second thought about it. As soon as I called him, he's like, yeah, I got it. And he got on them lines. And seriously, he was off book, faster than a lot of the other ones that had been in it already. Like he just came in swinging. And so I just want to thank you for that. And I just thank you for being who you are, and thank you for being on our show on tonight.
No, thank y'all for letting me, I don't talk a lot, so y'all are pulling a lot out of me, so I'll do my best.
Go ahead,
Bashan.
Now I just want to tease him a little bit because I heard you were running late because you were trying to get green room ready.
Yes. The shades, I had to get the shades off, the hot tea, get the straw out the cup. I had to make sure I had my white dandelions, or whatever they are, lines, watermelon, tomato. Yeah, I had to have my room. I had to get ready for y'all. Y'all are big time.
Okay.
Hey,
thank you.
Come on, big time. We're big
Appreciate
time
it.
because of people like you.
Right.
We appreciate it. But Anika, you said you want to ask another
I
question.
have another question. You have a quote which states, a fruit cannot bear seeds unless the flower is allowed to bloom. Explain that, Pastor.
Well,
Let the church say amen.
So, I'm into gardening and I love flowers. My mom got me into it, and I used to make bouquets for her out of the garden. She's deceased now.
Oh.
And so that when you look at a child, they are so innocent and delicate, seedlings. If you prune that child right and allow it to grow into, a lot of people clip the stem because they want it to be a rose, but they're a sunflower.
Yeah.
So if we don't allow our children to reach their full potential first, without our direction, how are they going to produce seeds?
Mm-hmm.
A flower is required before that watermelon or tomato grows on the vine. A flower must appear. And
Yes,
then from
indeed.
that flower, then it can produce seeds.
Yes.
Then those seeds then now can transfer. And now you have legacies behind legacies that can be planted, fertilized, and now you have a whole garden, orchard, you have multiples.
Preach.
Yeah,
Come on now.
What we do
Come on.
traditionally is we snip the stem and then want to wonder why our kids are not productive because you have not allowed them to produce the seeds that they were anointed to produce.
Come on. Yes, indeed. Looks like we have some comments here. So we have a few people that are watching. Hey, Shade. Hello, Sean. Hello, Paula. Hello, Misunderstood Boutte. Hello, hello, hello. Thank y'all for chiming in. Thank y'all. Feel free to chime in on these comments and on these topics. So now, if unless anybody has any more questions, I guess we can go ahead and dive into our main topic.
I like to just say I really appreciate these nuggets.
Yeah.
That you, Dwight, has shared with us, and letting people know it about your fondness for children. You know, that is a special gift in ministry to even like children, because I'm allergic to them.
Oh Lord, says the one with 3 grandbabies.
Yeah, and I'm allergic to them too.
But she can send them back home.
That is true.
Yeah.
But you know, and it's so great that you care enough to, you know, sow into them, and then that we have a place that we can take them. And I'm so glad for you sharing that with the masses. And you know, hopefully from this, some people can, you know, bring their children to learn this entrepreneurship and this great curriculum that you have. Also, thank you for sharing your gift with the world in acting in the Walk of Purity series that is coming out. And we just appreciate you for being on the show. We ask you to stay tuned and chime in with us with our main topic today on basically what's the difference between being stressed out and
Depression.
And depression.
Yes, indeed.
And it's definitely a difference.
It is a difference. So yes, once again, depression versus burnout. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about it.
So I'm gonna start off with the definition of both, and then we can go ahead and talk about
let's
it.
go.
So the actual definition of depression is a constant feeling of sadness and loss of interest, which stops you from doing your normal activities. So that is the actual definition of depression. And now burnout, the state of complete mental, physical, and emotional exhaustion. So as y'all just heard, those are two different things, but a lot of people, since they like to commingle the two, but they're actually different.
They're different.
So let's talk about it. Like, let's talk about like how we feeling and how we can decipher the two.
Okay.
Could I chime in real quick?
Yes, please. Yes.
On the depression side, a key element is the medical nature of both the illness, diagnosis, treatment. Burnout has a total different setting. You can be burned out in a marriage, but not exhibit, you know, the medical indicators that you find with depression.
Right.
So when you have a person and you have a conversation that you need to shake that off, you know, what are those trauma points that have your brain waves firing to the point to where you cannot exist or function in what normal society defines as regular? So then you can even backtrack and say, so a person who goes to a nudist colony thinks it's regular to be nude. But a person who is in the clothed society thinks that that is nasty.
Right.
So then you have the relative nature of what is your perspective of what your reality is.
Yes.
And then a lot of people say that insanity is really sane people trying to look around and make sense of everything we live through.
Yes. So if I'm understanding you, are you saying basically like the symptoms can vary per person and based on their perspective of it?
Because now if I am bipolar, then within my bipolarness, and I've made up a new word,
I like that word.
My reality is real.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's real to anybody else or not, it's real to you, and that's really
Your
and,
mind.
yeah. In that moment, that's what counts.
Mm-hmm.
And so the reality of that brainwave mapping will identify the trauma or the points of where the firing's not working.
Okay, gotcha.
So there's some medical background to that and
Mhm.
attachment. When you look at burnout, you can be in a position, a job position or place in that you're burned out. You can mitigate that. But when you deal with a medical diagnosis, you cannot self-medicate. You can't counsel. Ministers who have not gone through medical training should not be counseling people in a mental health crisis. Lord, I'm going to pray for you, anoint you, give you a prayer cloth, and send you home.
Yeah, it's
Because
like
of
that's
the-
why they should have counselors on board for that. You know, pastors aren't meant to do everything. You know, you just meant to kind of just, you know, divide the word. Like you need to have counselors on staff and other people on staff to do those other things.
And even within the midst of the counseling component, what is a medical professional who is delivering that prescription along with what their physical needs are?
Right.
It's a holistic process. If you really look at a medical home delivery model where you have a medical plan, electronic medical record, then all of this is triaged in that interchange. So I can identify burnout and I can then diagnose and treat depression.
Right.
Yeah, we have a nurse that's on air, Miss Understood Butte, and she explained that depression is clinically diagnosed, and stress are things that we take upon ourselves.
Yeah.
That stresses us out.
Yeah.
So, you know, depression, because I see another lady here, Diamond Child, said depression is a temper tantrum because you can't have your way. It's a feeling that will pass. I mean, I totally disagree with that. You know,
Right.
Suffer from
Oh man. You know,
depression and things that cause depression. But
so how do you respond to family members? How do you respond to family members who have that type of diagnosis reality? The girl, you just need to get over that. Mama been dead for 4 years. When the heck are you going to get over that? You need to move on.
Well, a lot of things, I think, you know, I think what Diamond Child was saying, I guess kind of like earlier what you said, like based on her perspective, I guess that's her perspective on it. But as far as Misunderstood Butte, I kind of more so align with that one because, you know, things like a lot of times we allow things to stress us out that we really don't have to take on. So it really does become like a thing, like you kind of self-inflicting it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then some things it's not self-infliction. Like, okay, you may get laid off on your job today and you didn't see that coming. So yeah, you're stressed, but that's not something that you caused. It was kind of brought up on you.
It's something that you don't have no control over.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times burnt out is a condition caused by the workplace.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
90% of the time.
Yeah, and it may feel, you know, it's very stressful.
It's
you know,
very
especially if
stressful,
you're taking on extra jobs, extra duty, you know, trying to be there for the job, your mind is consumed, and then you have a family, you have children and stuff like that. That can be a little overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah,
and can be stressful too, and you just don't, you can feel kind of hopeless when you're burnt out too.
Okay, so now let's
depression if it's not treated or you know detected early or do something about
find
it.
a balance.
Find a balance, and you can take, if it's stress from your job, you can always take a mental health day or just find another job.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, I know we didn't all heard this. Hey, if you die today, that job gonna be there tomorrow and for years and years and years to come. But you gone.
Right in your seat.
Somebody gonna be sitting in your seat probably not even like the next day, like later on the same day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just
I mean, probably won't even send follow-up flowers to your family.
They don't care. Like our jobs, like those jobs don't care about you like that. And you know, you over here stressing, losing hair when again, if you die, they're gonna keep going.
They're gonna replace you.
Okay, let's reflect and think back when you were in 5th grade, 6th grade. Had a conversation with a young man. He was frustrated. So I asked him, I said, what's going on? And he said, I'm tired. I'm tired of my little brothers. I'm tired of, you know, what I got to do around the house. I'm the oldest boy in the house and I got to carry. And I looked at him, I said, boss man, you're a man, you're a king. It requires that you be tired for the rest of your life. What you have to understand is how to mitigate and have those moments of release, or else that pipe will blow up.
Yeah.
And he looked me in my eyes and he said, really? I said, yes, sir, really. I'm tired right now.
Yeah, because you can take a break from your job, but you can't take a break from your kids and your family.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, you can't like not from the kids, but from certain family members. Yes, you can. Your kids is your obligation.
Hey, Tiff, which one can you take a break from?
You ain't got to deal with that cousin that get on your nerves every single day. You ain't got to deal with that sister
or that man.
Or that man. But your child, your child is probably the only people that you can't get a break from.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's a good point. So let's look at it as in reference to a boat.
That's a big burnout. That's a real big burnout for the ladies and the children and stuff like that.
Yes.
I mean, and you see so much tragic things happen to children and stuff because women are postpartum and burned out and stressed out. You know, and we need to find ways to help, you know, women get away, you know, but without getting away. Right. So what are some things that they possibly can do, you know, as a mother,
as far as burn
you know, especially toddlers?
You know what? What was that movie that Tyler Perry put out like 10 years ago? Was it Mothers? Something about mother, not the Babysitters Club, but something equivalent to that where like they swapped out. It was something where like all the friends came together and they kind of like, okay, you got the kids this weekend. Yeah, you got the kids this weekend.
I didn't see that.
It's a good movie.
Basically, no. So your question was like, what could be done? Okay, help each other out. Like if
the community.
If you got like 4 friends, y'all alternate. Okay, this week you got the kids. Next week you got the kids. Work together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Work together. So that's
one way.
I can't think of that new. I can't think of that movie.
You gotta have some good, very, very good friends.
Yeah,
you know,
to do
got
that.
some shady people out
there. Yeah, so many, and that's why a lot of ladies are scared to send their kids because people don't know what's going on in people's houses.
Yeah,
that's true. Nowadays, you can't just send your kids like to somebody's house because you just never know.
You don't know what's going on, and people are just sick. Never who they really are in person.
Wait, we gotta come in here. Well, one thing we got to get over in the Black community, especially, is going to counseling and kind of counseling. We need to stop the stereotype or the stigma that goes along with getting help. 100% agree.
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
Ms. Boucher, because you know, therapy is very needed. Sometimes we need logical ways from unbiased people to tell us and help us get, you know, the help that we need. Depression, it is okay to deal with your depression. Do y'all know that prolonged depression can cause schizophrenia?
Yeah.
And once schizophrenia steps in, there's no turning back.
Yeah.
You cannot, there's no cure for it. You'll always be dealing with that in some facet, you know, or another. So prolonged depression, and I know that firsthand.
What do y'all think about
some very close?
Right.
Okay,
what do y'all think about some of the prescriptive remedies that are out there?
They have some really good stuff out there.
Well, what about the
cocktail that fits you? And that's the hard part. Finding what fits you. Your mind, you have to go on a mental roller coaster to find that right medicine, and it's not fun.
But by then, y'all seen took so many drugs,
right?
Yeah, then you got to get off of them, and you up and down. But that's the process you have to go in, and that's where a lot of people have to go into an institution, and then they trying to find the right cocktail. And it takes.
Have y'all seen where they're using mushrooms and psychedelics?
That's self-medicated.
No. See, that's what.
You ain't got MD behind your name.
No, this is where they are doing
marijuana.
PTSD. Professional football players and hockey players are taking mushrooms in measured dosage with
is it helping them?
Hypnosis. Yes, that's what they're saying, is that these individuals come out of it, and where they were medicating either self or by prescription with the enes at the end of all the prescriptions, that experience of taking that trauma point, recognizing it, seeing it again, and then it's being released from them, that those symptoms are no longer there in that depressed state. So I just was wondering what the audience thought or has heard about these alternate forms of treatment, and what are the other treatments that are out there that, and I agree with you, self-medication, Jack and gas don't go together. It blows up.
Yeah, but the thing of it is about
yeah.
self-medication, a lot
Jack
of people
and
that are
gas.
depressed and burned out, they self-medicate, and sometimes that can cause, drug uses or alcoholism.
Mhm.
Some people drink to soothe themselves, and anything prolonged like that, that's a form of a habit, and habits can grow. So self-medication is often done by people, but it's something that you should not do. You should be medicated by a doctor, but even then, by the doctors, sometimes they can get people hooked on medication because the opiate situation is, from doctors,
What does it say on their license? They have been certified and licensed to do what?
to
Yeah,
practice
no idea.
medicine,
what?
Practice medicine.
So I'm
Oh my God.
so it's not game time. So if I miss layups while I'm in there,
So they're saying now that the
What's that,
CBD
practice?
oils, that another thing that people are offering now, and I've noticed a lot of people using CBD, and they giving really great reviews. And then we're not here, none of us here to promote any type of medication, because we're
Right.
not doctors,
Exactly.
we're not therapists, we're just
Exactly.
everyday people having
Yeah.
everyday
That's
conversations.
it.
That
And so
part.
let me ask y'all this:
Uh-huh.
since we're talking about medication, this is slightly off course, but then it's still in course.
Uh-huh.
So, what about like all these kids that take, like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I didn't know nothing about no ADHD and all of that, but now it's like every time I look up, all these parents want to, put their kids on this medication, put their kids on that medication, and I'm sitting up here like, my God, I know if it exists now, there's nothing new under the sun.
Uh-huh.
It had to exist 50 years ago,
Because I had it,
but
and I never was medicated.
and you turned out fine, didn't you?
I'm a little retarded.
But I mean, well, all of us may,
Yeah,
but generally speaking, you turned out fine.
Yeah, I can.
So
Right.
I can pay bills and go
yeah,
to work
you can
and stuff
function in
like-
society.
Right.
And so I don't like when parents, like, I feel like when you become an adult, you make your own decision.
Mhm.
But I do not agree with parents putting their kids on medication.
You know, I think
Like,
it may be a reason. I mean, it's just my opinion is that the parents are not taking the time to raise their kids.
that's lazy.
You know,
Yes.
medicate them so they can chill out and they can go on about their
Yeah,
day.
that's what Shay said.
That's
You
what it
can't give
appears.
kids their way to shut them up.
But
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
a lot of times, and I'm serious. But have y'all ever been around a kid with ADHD?
I have.
haven't.
And
Oh my God.
most of the time, it really
Oh
be.
my God.
it
Have
really be-
you?
Well, you know what I have.
Have you, Dwight, been around a kid with that?
I am a special ed teacher, and so I did teach behavior management units where it was 10-minute
It
work
is very
sessions
difficult to deal
and
with.
then 10-minute reinforcement time. So you had scheduled moments to make sure. So if a kid was off task or child was off task during the first work period and cussed me out, then in that second work period, you start anew, and I have to forget about that last cuss out you gave me, and we start over. Now you can earn your points for this work period, and if you do well, then I'm gonna give you your 10 minutes of reinforcement time. So yes, I said that a lot to say yes. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's just, but you know what? I'm pretty sure we all have been around kids, dealing with that, whether we know it or not. But I think the parenting style plays a big role, because we could have been around kids with that, and you might not have known because their parents discipline them and they're well behaved, but they can still have ADHD. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like, just like Vashawn said, that the parents don't want to take the time to raise the kids. So, okay, I'm too tired. I'm just going to put you on medication. I hate that. And I really do feel like as the generations progress, that's like an alternative that should not be. It shouldn't be. You make your own decision as an adult, but I don't believe in kids being on medication. Like, no.
I do agree with you, Tiff, in regards to some kids are just not being disciplined properly or have stuff to do. Sometimes they're bored.
Yeah.
You got to realize a kid with ADHD is like turning the channel on the TV. They mind flip,
TikTok,
and it's hard to keep their attention. And so it requires a lot for a parent to keep them interested and keep their minds, because everything that runs across their mind, they want to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, let me go
Right now.
Let me go glue my baby eyelid. I mean, the baby sister eyelid shut.
Oh, wow.
Let me cut a patch hair out of head. Let me go and set the trash can on fire. They really have these random thoughts.
Yeah.
That they just really cannot control sometimes.
Yeah.
And they just do it, They just do it. So some kids really need to be medicated. But we know who they are. You and I, we all know.
Maybe a
but
light dosage or something. Yeah.
Some kids need most kids
just need a whooping.
And discipline.
Good ass whooping to help every time.
Miss Boutte, she said that's just because they don't want to discipline their children. That's what we call being hyperactive back in the day. Remember, he just hyper, and we know what the resolution was for that. You got your butt whooped.
Right. And so Sean says they tried putting his son on meds. He still have their meds unopened 18 years later. He's 25. Hey, come on. Come on. It's like, seriously. I mean, to me, just like Tiff said, I feel like, okay, in some cases it may be absolutely necessary, but I guess I'm finding in most cases it really is kind of due to laziness on the parents' part. And maybe if your kid is like an extreme case, put them on like a light dosage or something. But I don't think that should be something that they have to depend on. Spend time with your kids. Like, yeah, you may have some sleepless nights, but that is your child. That's your responsibility.
Exactly.
At the end of the day.
I know that nobody tell you that. But for all the people that's getting ready to have children, get ready to experience some sleepless nights. And if your sleeping mean anything to you, then you may wait till you get a little tribe to help you with your child.
Yeah, community tribe, family, like that makes a big difference. And it's just like, I know a lot of people, I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. We mentioned about like the lack of community. If you know you about to have a child or whatnot, don't be moving all across seas by yourself. You need to stay with your community because you know what, you cause the stress when you're doing that too.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
You all the way in New York and all your family here in Texas, but you got a child by yourself.
I have a question. Now, I know it's a difference between depression and burnout, but how can you tell if a person is burnt out or depressed? Because some of the symptoms are the same. They're similar.
I know one. I think burnt out is more. I think you're more angry when you burnt out, and the way you look too is a difference. I think depression. I think you're more subtle, withdrawn, but burnt out you're more antsy, angry. Short temper, short fuse, different,
and don't you normally verbalize, hey, the jobs, I'm tired of that manager. I'm gonna have to look for something else. This ain't gonna get it. There's some verbalization and some action plan that you say, okay, I'm gonna change jobs. I'm gonna have to go get some more training. Forget that. I'd rather work 2 jobs and go up there and deal with that old lady.
And see, with depression, like you said, like, okay, so with burnout, like you said, it's verbalization. With depression, you're more so, from what I've noticed, you're kind of like withdrawn. You're not really saying much and all of that. So I think that's like a key indicator. Like you're doing a lot of this when you're burnt out.
You changing
depression. You're like,
your personality change.
And
you don't want to be around nobody.
You want to rest and sleep and maybe crying, maybe just feeling hopeless, and things of that sort. But burnout, you just furious, you fed up, you tired,
And I think it's like a thin line between depression and burnout.
Absolutely.
Because one of the symptoms is fatigue.
Yeah.
For both of them. Like with the going back to what DWIGHT said about the young man, said he's fed up, he's tired.
Yes.
Of dealing with what he has to deal with at home. Who knows if DWIGHT wouldn't have spoke with him, his tiredness or fatigue probably would have led him into depression.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a thin line.
Yeah.
Sort of like love and hate.
Yeah.
but we must, as individuals, know our boundaries. And know what we can do and what we cannot do. And so I hear a lot of people that they in everything, doing everything, and then I am so tired.
Sit
Stop
down
doing it.
somewhere. Sit
Right,
down.
stop doing
Your
it.
body would tell you when you need to slow down.
Yes.
Trust and
It will
believe. I
sit you
know.
down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what do y'all think about AA programs and group
Come on, 12-step
sessions?
program.
AA where you go in there and you restate and confess your ailment
Mm-hmm.
and speak around how you used to drink, but it's been 3 months that I haven't, had a drink and so now I got another chip type deal. What do y'all think about those sessions as it relates to moving beyond your depression and really excising those demons when you continue to invite them to hello, my name is?
I'm an advocate for a 12-step program in AA. My mother died, bless her heart. She smoked crack cocaine for 30 years.
Mhm.
And I've been in Al-Anon meetings myself because I realized that I lived different from most people, which was normal. Back to what we were talking about earlier, it was normal for me, but I wasn't living normal because I was living with a crack addict when crack first came out. So she was the first, and the mental strain that it caused on her and myself and me watching. But through the AA, send a shout out to Live and Kicking and her sponsors and stuff like that. My mother was able to kick a 30-year habit, which I never thought. And her AA was her life. The 12-step book was her life. She carried it with her everywhere she went. And
that community, any town you would go to, you could find you an AA meeting.
Yeah, and at any time of the day, even on my mother's deathbed, when she was succumbed by cancer at a very young age of 55, the AA team, they was there, suited and booted, and they would have the meetings in the hospital for her, because even her sobriety, even on her deathbed, that was number one to her, is staying sober. And so I think, going there, but they have rules to that AA too. You just don't go in there running your mouth. You gotta be clean a year before you start
get to go to the mic,
telling you a story. Yeah,
that's right.
So and that's my first movie that I'll be doing. It's called Birthday Night. And since you know about AA, you know what Birthday Night is.
How do you know I know about it? I read about it.
So that's dedicated to my dearly departed mother, Patrice Joseph, birthday night. And y'all will see and be able to go inside one of those rooms. Yeah, but I totally agree. What about y'all? Do y'all agree with AA and CA and
absolutely
NA?
anything dealing with community? I feel like anything dealing with community, I'm totally for it. Not anything that's against isolation, like getting you around people that's going to help. I am totally for it. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think make sure that the person is like qualified or licensed before you take advice, because often you taking advice from crazy people. Crazy can't help crazy. So
and then some people, they get used to you being broken, so they give you broken advice, because if you get healed, they may feel like you don't need them no more.
Well, I got a story in particular that I wrote about, and I'm sharing about. But they one thing that I saw when I used to go to the AA meetings, there was a guy, very, very well dressed, well spoken, suited guy, and I looked in the room. I seen this lady over here. She had a Chanel, the real Chanel, because I know the difference, baby. Real Chanel purses and everything, sitting over a little Asian lady, and I wondered why they were there. They were always there. They were always there, and the guy was like, I know you wondering why I'm here. He said, I've been clean for 30 years. He said, but one thing about drugs, it's tricky. When you get clean and sober, you think about the first time you got high. He said, you rarely remember how you was, but when you came crawling into this room, dusty, musty, crusty,
not musty,
homeless,
sleeping
on your mama porch outside, nobody will trust you. You forget that. Because the disease is so baffling that you only remember the first time. And when you first did it, it was a blast.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Beam me up, Scotty. So now that I'm in this room, I see you come to the door. You show me, and I would never forget. So I got to come to these rooms.
It's a trigger. It's a good trigger
for 40 years later, because I got to remember. And I would never forget.
Right.
That's right.
That way I was, how depressed and low I was when I came to this room, because we can forget. The mind will forget if you let it.
Yes.
So it said it'll work if you work it.
Yes.
One day at a time.
Yeah, Diamond says, yes, talk it out. She likes to talk to God because some people happy seeing you hurt. Yeah.
That's true.
Yes.
But
Talk it out.
it's dangerous in those rooms too. Like Miss Boutte was saying, in those rooms, sometimes you get preyed upon. You know, they know you're dealing with addiction and you got some drug dealer sitting up in there trying to sell you drugs or extort you. Know that you've been, because they open up a lot of stuff. So sometimes I do agree that in AA meeting, you should be in an all women AA group or all men. Or by the time you come into a group where they are co-ed, that you are well off. And then you don't have to share everything. Because in those rooms, they release everything that happens to them out in the street. And then you got some low life in the back waiting to prey on you.
Yeah.
You know, so
you think you in a safe space and you're not.
Right.
And that is so unfortunate.
The devil is always lurking.
Busy. Yeah. Busy.
So what's that next?
So let me see. Misunderstood had a comment that we didn't really, it just don't work for everybody because everybody don't want to disclose all of that dirty laundry. I supported my husband who was in recovery, and I cannot believe how you can get clean when people are rehashing all of your dirty laundry. Some people can work the program because it's something to do to keep them occupied, and there's a community, but it don't work for everybody.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But it'll work if you work it.
Yeah. I guess, in anything we do, just kind of go into it, with a positive mindset and just, be optimistic. Okay. You're here for help, so you're going to get the help.
Well, it now goes back to some of those behaviors that are exhibited when a person is in a depressed state, and then take on those other indicators of self-medicating. And so all drug addicts, all alcoholics are liars. They perfect the craft.
That's right.
So if you're looking at, that person who is consumed in that state, they are liars. Yeah. And there's nothing that they can say that you can believe until the behaviors support the evidence that you see of what they're saying. No, I'm not using anymore. So you ain't using anymore, but I know I just saw you with that pipe in your hand.
Yeah, for real.
Right.
Okay. I can see why you up in the. Okay, let me be quiet.
Don't make me feel like I'm delusional. I know what I just saw.
And so, and those are the things that self-medicated can cause you. Depression, being burnout. These are the things that can happen to you because you are depressed and burnout, and you're not taking the right routes. Right. And you're using stuff to escape. And that's why a lot of people become addicts. So they're trying to escape life.
But you can't run away from your problems. Your problems gonna always be
there.
They'll
still be there after you use. So go see somebody. I'd rather go see a doctor. I'd rather be proactive than reactive in one of those rooms.
Absolutely.
Right. We are super excited today. So was that Diamond Child? You got we use Tiffany eyes because she got the youngest eyes up there.
Well, she's the one way over there. She posted that a while ago. She says, yes, talk it out. I like to talk to God. Some people be happy you're hurting. Absolutely. Yeah.
And we have to be careful who we talk to about our problems.
Because every listening ears are running mouths. Yep.
Yeah.
I've learned that the hard way in so many instances. Thank the Lord for deliverance.
Yeah, but I mean, and then also, learn thyself. Find the things, do the things that make you happy. Sometimes people think that because they are parents or something, they are not allowed to have fun or feel guilty for having fun. Go out and have fun. It's okay to have fun because you're a parent. Your life does not stop because you're a parent.
Absolutely.
And it's okay to ask somebody to watch your kids who you trust. If you can trust them, for you just to have a day out, even if you just want to stay home. When my kids were young, I just wanted them to go so I can stay home by myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
We used to use.
Go hang out with your friends. Y'all going to the movies? Okay, go home.
Yeah.
We used to do play groups.
And so
play groups. And so I've had the pleasure of raising 4 children. They're now 35 and the youngest is 38 and the youngest is 24.
Okay.
Wow, that's awesome.
So you
so you play groups where you have same age kids. So all the 4-year-olds, you get together and you monthly schedule something. My oldest son, the group of fathers that he really navigates with and supports, they do daddy and daughters days out, where it's just the dads and the daughters, and they schedule it, and the moms get to go do what they want to do, and all the dads got the daughters, and then you spend a half a day, and then you come home, and so scheduling those type of structured environments to where memories can be made will definitely help that burden, which is called parenting.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. Like, what you just said, daddy, daughter. Like, I love, those types of setups. It's just like more of that needs to happen. Absolutely.
We like to thank
You'll always be my baby girl. Is that the right line?
Yeah. We like to we have a nurse on here today, and we like to thank Miss Boutte for all of her enlightened words, everybody enlightened words, the panel as well. And she said she would just like to leave this with everybody. I really wish that everybody would be comfortable, realize that comfortable and happy should be your goal. And that's whatever that is to you.
Yes.
Not what people expect you to have. She really enjoyed the show, and
Absolutely.
we really enjoyed you too.
Thank you for that.
Yes,
so that's what we're gonna do, y'all. We're gonna know ourselves, know what makes us happy, and we're gonna try to be in that happy moment, because and understand that it's okay to get burned out.
Yes.
And it's okay to tell people, hey, I'm burnt out, I need help at work.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to tell your supervisor, you want to show them that you're a superwoman. I need help.
Yeah.
As a parent, sometimes you can say, just come get these kids
today.
Give me today. I'll be okay tomorrow.
Right.
Some men, baby, I just need a night at the
be
drink.
Quiet.
And just give me this moment.
Yeah.
Let it be daddy day sometime.
Mm-hmm.
On Saturday's daddy day.
Yeah.
On Sunday's mommy's day. Families, we want y'all to stay together.
Yes.
And whatever it takes to keep us together, let's stay together.
And I want to all the people that's burnt out there, I want to give them a little advice. Marijuana is your friend.
Oh, Lord.
Listen, y'all, don't listen to this.
It works for me 10 out of 10 times.
He said, skip the CBD, get the gas.
But what about when you got no money?
We're not promoting drugs on here, y'all.
There's somebody always has a friend who has it.
Okay, go, Lord.
So I heard.
So
I passed to this, y'all. Act like y'all didn't hit it.
So Bashan, his ideas are not supported by everybody, but he is one of the members, and he is speaking his truth. And right here, we always authentic and speak our truth. Chew the fat, spit out the bones. But hey, we here, and we here to stay, and we're going to break it down and tell it like a T.I. is.
Amen.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
And on that note, Mr. Dwight, we want to thank you for joining us on tonight. And before you leave, do us a favor and please give us your social media handles where people can find you.
On Instagram, Dwight Next Height. LinkedIn, I don't know it. Dwight Next Height, I think it is still there. And then nextheight.net. And find me there. But I love all y'all. Thank y'all so much. Hugs and kisses. And
we love you too, sir. And thank you so much for joining us on the Epic Show. And to all of our viewers, thank you for tuning in. And on that note, we're going to bid you all a good night.
Thank you, guys.
Peace.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
See y'all next Monday. Intro.